Welcome to the Strenuous Life Radio, the podcast where leaderpreneurs, entrepreneurs, men and women learn the essentials and human skills in the strenuous life. And now, here's your guest host, Jimmy. Sadly, we've come to the first, once again, of the historical events in my life in this series, Strenuous Pattern. And this episode is called Fallen Sun, S-U-N. Okay. It was the evening of October the 4th, 2002. I had come to stay the night before with Jim Bob. I was having some deep personal problems, and Brad figured it might be best if I would be watched, because I was kind of, as you may put it, on suicide watch. I had done some watching a general conference at Brad's house. I mean, Jim Bob's house, rather. He was begging me, along with Dr. Patel. That's a nickname for a psychiatrist I had, not to move to Lubbock. But I knew it had to be a part of my progressing. And that night, just after dinner, we received the news. Keith's stepfather called Jim Bob. He kind of knew, I mean, he knew me, don't get me wrong, but he knew and liked and respected Jim Bob. And he said, Jim Bob, you make sure that Jimmy knows the news. And I said, what's going on? He said, our buddy Keith just fell, just now, out of the shower. They're taking him to Arlington Memorial Hospital. His mother says he'll be in a nursing home for a time thereafter, until they can get him to walk again. Let me tell you something. I always knew he was serious. He was sick. But I didn't know that he was that sick. In June of 2000, I had gone, July of 2000, I had gone to see him. Was my last trip to Dallas to see him. And the last time he had come to see us was in June of 2001. And Keith's mother said, I hate to break it to you, Jimmy, but I'm going to have to break it to you gently. I don't know how much, if at all, Keith is going to be able to travel anymore. And I was thinking to myself, oh, please, no. Please, no. You know, that was back in 2000. He's 37 years old. He's got a lot to live for. When I saw him last, Keith said he thought that he was having brain cancer return. He thought he had the side effects. And I was like, no, Keith, buddy, no. I can't afford to lose you. So when he fell, I thought, well, he'll recover. It'll be okay.
He'll recover. It'll be okay. Don't, Jimmy, don't worry. Somehow he'll make it. And I could never grasp for the fact that from his fall in October, it was something that he would never be able to get back up. I was having too much emotional turmoil in my life. No doubt caused in part by my own. I had gotten lonely during the summer of 2002, so I let my uncle and eventually his family move in, and with some stuff that caused some deep anxiety and paranoia and everything, and got to where I wouldn't take it. And then, the landlady said, well, I'm not going to kick you out, but you're not going to be able to have guests for a while. Anyway, I was crushed. I was like, man, what am I going to do? Well, what am I going to do? He fell. See, here's something you have to understand. I had what was known in my birth defects as dwarfism. Keith had a brain tumor when he was 14 that led to him to what was known as giantism. Okay? He made himself up to 6'3". And when I first started hanging out with him, he was like 260 pounds. And it ballooned up to 300. And when the doctors told him it was 300, he felt terrible. No. Jimmy, I feel so responsible. I know it's not my fault, but still. Please, don't end up like me. But I defended Keith. I was like, well, if you're not responsible, bro, why are you feeling guilty about it? I couldn't get it. But I remember the 2 times that he came to see me after my divorce. He was trying to help me. Keith was throwing up warning signs to me about how reactive that I was getting. And there'd be times that he would stop me and he would say, Jimmy, watch it. Don't go too nuts with the news media. Expecting to believe what everybody's talking about in the news media. And he said, I remember he said back in 2000, he says, Jimmy, if I could fall, that could be it. That's all she wrote. Mom will have to put me in a nursing home until I can get better. And so that's what happened. He went to Arlington Memorial for a few days and then went to a nursing home. But none of us, let me tell you something. None of us could detect the crap storm that was ahead. I was like, oh my gosh. Keith, but I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, Keith, buddy, come on, you got to be able to get up and walk again. I mean, he was 39 years old. He had to get up and walk again. There had to be a way. What I had to realize is my buddy was sicker than he was letting on. Because let me tell you something. Those last 2 times that he flew in to see me, nothing stopped him. His spirit was stronger than his body. But many times, sadly, in 2000 and 2001, I've seen him have to shut down his body. In 2000, it was because he was having he had some kind of a brain tumor. A disorder, little known disorder, that is featured in some cases of one of the birth defects I have, that's called diabetes insipidus. It's a disease that mimics diabetes. And he'd had a wound from back in 98. In 2000, it still hadn't healed. And he had accidentally triggered that wound. So we had to take him back home to rest. He got be up and about and everything was fine, but sometimes he had to rest. And I was thinking, well, no, it can't be. It can't be that my best buddy is getting weaker. Please. It can't be that way. But it was. There was nothing that I could do. I stayed with Jim Bob from the 3rd of October to the 21st of October. I was back with him again on the 23rd because my personal problems got to be too much for me. Guess what? Keith was still in the nursing home. His situation was not getting any better. And I was thinking, man, why? We wouldn't know exactly why until a couple months before his death. And it was sad. Keith was my fallen son. Because for years, when I was looking for a ray of sunshine, I was looking for him. He brought happiness. He brought joy. He had a testimony that rivaled me back in the day. And that's why I was praying fervently for him to survive. Okay? But you're like, Jimmy, come on, what could be the biggest deal? What's bothering you? No, what's going on was pretty obvious. What was going on was obvious. My best friend was sick. And none of us, among all of our friends who knew him, None of us knew how sick he really was. Back in 1993, Brad would say, oh, he's playing. And a lot of us would say, Brad, shut up. He's not. He's not playing. I remember in 2000, Brad wanted us to take him to church. But because of Keith's giantism and his diabetes insipidus, he couldn't walk for long distance at any time. Okay. So, think about it. I told Brad, no. In 2001, I don't remember Brad stopping by to see Keith. But that meant I didn't care. Because Keith taught me the truth about my faith persuasion. He brought me love. He brought me peace and joy and strength through the Lord. He was my best friend. And he loved me no matter what as my best friend. But back in October, especially in late October, I was praying and I was like, Heavenly Father, please don't make him deteriorate. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. And, I had friends tell me, I had that therapist, Jean, she told me, she said, Jimmy, you're letting yourself go again. What is going on? I need you to tell me exactly what's... And I told her about the deal with Keith. On top of that, my ex-wife had tried calling me while I was away. I was angry because I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to tell her how sorry I was for the trouble I caused her. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So it became obvious for me. The months went by. November, December, January. Early February, when we began to find out the truth. And I hope in these episodes somewhere you're going to be able to find it. Hope you enjoy listening to the Strenuous Life Radio. Please subscribe, become a part of the Strenuous Life Radio community. Until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. Think strong, live strong, and live this strenuous life. God bless you. You have a blessed day. And remember this, from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy loves you. I really love you.